Hey friends! So last weekend I got down to the Ridge for the first time in my GT4. Had some pretty good laps too, but you may have noticed that it wasn't a regular GT4 in the intro. So yeah, I got to drive a friend's 4 RS as well, which was about as much fun as you would expect. So I'll show you that too. And finally, I had a bit of an incident in my own car, of course. I, leave some margin when driving other people's. But no harm done, but I know that that's what you're here for, so I'll break that down for you too. Anyway, first of all, my lap. The first couple corners here are a bit scruffy, as you'll see, but it still ended up being my best for the day because I caught traffic, every time for the rest of the day that I was on a faster one. So there's a few tenths in it still, but that's cool. I, always like having something to shoot for, so that'll give me something for next time, which will hopefully be soon because, man, I love this track. Anyway, here's the lap. So yeah, it was a 146.4. I was pretty happy with that for a 981 GT4. Of course, the car isn't totally stock, but it's not too far off. I'll put the mod list down in the description. It's basically the stuff you need to get a proper track alignment. Anyway, next up is the 4RS. Now, this one is totally stock, and this is actually my first hot lap in it, but obviously it feels pretty familiar coming from the 981, so I was able to get up to speed fairly quick. I did get a bit quicker later on, but the helmet cam only managed to capture this one lap, so this is what you get. Enjoy. But unfortunately, that's where the camera decided to give up, so we don't get to hear it rev up through the gears one more time. What a sound though, right? Anyway, now the fun is over, for me at least, just starting for you, because now you get to see me go off-roading. I guess we'll play it through first and then I'll break it down. So there you go, my first time going off in this car, and fortunately there was no harm done, but it definitely could have been avoided. The way I see it, I made 3 mistakes here. First was just trying to stay in the lap. I'd caught traffic for a few laps in a row, and when I caught the Camaro right on the front straight here, I was thinking, okay, nice, I could get by him right on the straight without having to slow down and waste another lap. But then he's got way more power, so even when he backs off, it's taken me a while to get by. And you can see me, checking the mirror repeatedly just to see when I've got enough space to comfortably get in front of him, because I certainly don't want to just cut over and jam on the brakes. And eventually I do decide that I have enough space to get over and take the corner normally. And technically I did, but I still shouldn't have forced it. It was just close enough that it was taking my attention away from where it should have been, which was on the corner ahead. So I should have just backed off and taken the corner conservatively. Which brings us to mistake number 2. Even though I had space to get over and set up the corner, I was thinking about that instead of about the corner itself, and as a result, I braked just slightly later than I normally do. My reference here is the second cone, and usually I brake just before it, which if you want to go back you can see in the lap before. Here I brake right at the cone, and it's only a few feet difference in like 2 kilometers an hour or 1 mile an hour. But it meant I was coming into the corner slightly hotter than I usually do, and with my mind not 100% on the task at hand. Which leads me to mistake number 3. My instinctive reaction to coming into the kink here hot was to stay on the brakes and bleed off more speed. Now, if I'd come off the brakes, as I normally do, and as you should, to take the corner, I probably still could have negotiated turn 1, and I would have gone deep on the exit. I wouldn't have been able to make the apex of 2, but I would have stayed on the track. Now, in this split second, I was just reacting, and that was like my oh shit maneuver, which, it does have some benefits, scrubbing off as much speed as possible when things are going poorly, but yeah, it wasn't ideal. So I think those are the 3 mistakes that ultimately had me pointing on a line that ran out of room here. Now, I think I did do something right. If I'd tried to keep trying to pull it over even once it became clear that I was running out of room, I would have slid off sideways and, possibly gone into a spin or damaged my wheels digging into the dirt. Instead, once it was clear that I was going off, I opened up the steering and finally got off the brake. So I was able to keep it under control and, controlled steer it back onto the, back toward the track on the grass. So not ideal, but fortunately, no damage to the car. So could have been worse, and lessons learned. So there you go. That is the end of, that wasn't the very end, but that's the end of the video. So this is, for you, the end of what was a pretty entertaining weekend down at the Ridge. Had a lot of fun, got a good lap in there, had a little bit more entertainment than I might have wanted at one point, but it all worked out, and got to drive that 4 RS, which is friggin' amazing. So yeah, looking forward to doing 2 out of those 3 things again. All right, until next time.